Well, good afternoon. I'm Judy Simpson. It is the first Thursday of the month, which means we are in the kitchen with Across the Fence. And today our theme is slow cooker and crock pot recipes, a favorite way to prepare quick and tasty meals by our guest chefs, especially Carolyn Peak from Williamstown, who is also joined by Deb Plumley and Lynn Jarvis, of course, from South Hero in the beautiful Champlain Islands. They've got lots of recipes for us. So, Deb, the kitchen is yours. You're going to start off today.
Excellent. Thank you. So a lot of viewers have said how much they enjoy the crock pot and the slow cooker segments because it's such an easy way to have your food, your meal ready when you get home. So my first recipe to share is from Donna Barkham of Milton for an old favorite chicken noodle soup. And this recipe can easily be doubled if you're using a larger slow cooker. Start with a chicken broth base, add to that canned diced tomatoes, cubed cooked chicken, sliced carrots, mushrooms, and celery. You'll notice there's no onions in this recipe. That's something you could easily add if you and your family like that, but sometimes it's nice to leave it plain. Add a bay leaf and dried thyme for seasoning, and this is going to cook on low heat for about 6 hours. And just before serving, you're going to stir in some cooked egg noodles. Remove that bay leaf and ladle it into bowls, and you have got a hearty chicken soup that really is ready in no time with just a little bit of preparation. And it's truly one of those soups you could probably eat with a fork. So next up, I have something for the meat lovers. This is a hearty soup. It's called pizza soup. So you're going to start with a nice beef broth base for this, and then you're going to add your favorite pizza ingredients, because truly this is going to smell and taste just like a pizza, but without the crust. So this has generous amounts of canned diced tomatoes, some peppers, onions, mushrooms. Now for the meat component, I added some cooked ground beef and some sliced pepperoni. And one trick with the pepperoni before you put it in the soup is to cook it on the microwave for about 35 seconds on layers of paper towels. You'll be amazed at the amount of fat and grease that comes out. You can blotter it, and then you don't have that in your soup. And this is going to cook on low for about 6 hours. And if you wanted to, when you ladle it into the bowls for serving, you could top it with some shredded cheese. So this is a hearty pizza soup. Now this next recipe, while it was not made in the crock pot, I thought it would be fun to share. It's actually a flashback recipe. This first appeared on Across the Fence in 1992, and it was a recipe from none other than Carolyn Peak. And this is for cold potato biscuits. These come together quickly. You're just going to fold some shortening into a mixture of baking powder and flour, add half a cup of cold mashed potatoes and some milk, make a soft dough, roll it out. In about 15 minutes, you've got piping hot biscuits to have with your soup. Another great reason to use a crock pot is when you're busy in the kitchen doing things, you can be having the crock pot do some of the work for you. And this is a cranberry salsa that kind of came about one time when I had a can of whole cranberry sauce and I wasn't sure what to do with it. So in your crock pot, put some diced apples, lemon juice, cider vinegar, and sugar. Let that cook until the apples are soft, mash them up, and then you're going to add some whole berry cranberry sauce. Let that cook about another 30 minutes. Take everything out of the crock pot, and then you're going to stir in some onions and peppers and some diced jalapeno for some heat, and a little bit of seasonings. You could put in cilantro if you wanted to, and more diced apples. This is yummy to have with chips. It's also very good to serve on meat, and I think Lynn has a dish that this would be a wonderful side, so I'm going to leave it up here for Lynn to use. Now lastly is dessert. And I have to tell the viewers, I have never made a cake in a crock pot, but I have found a recipe that is so easy to use. And I'm going to tilt this up here so the viewers can see it. One tip is to use a crock pot liner. That's going to make your cleanup super easy. This is simply a cake mix, coffee creamer for a nice rich flavor, eggs and oil that's poured into the crock pot. Then you're going to make a batter, or I should say like a drizzle, with boiling water, brown sugar, and butter. You're going to pour this on top and bake it on high for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. You're going to put a paper towel on the top area here. It's going to keep any condensation from making the cake wet. And as you can see, this comes out with a super caramel-looking pudding cake. Wonderful served warm, and your kitchen is going to smell super while this is cooking. So Carolyn, I am so bummed I forgot that pamphlet at home with that 1992 recipe.
Well,
it was so great.
I'm sure I've got it, but it certainly surprised me, and I don't remember doing it. But that was long enough ago, so my mind, it's just gone anyway.
Yeah, well, obviously you started cooking here when you were 12. So
yes,
anyway,
yes.
I'll give you that. So I'm going to let you jump right into it.
Okay, thank you. Well, I have quite a few items here this afternoon. My first one down here in the front is banana nut bread. And I never would have thought of making banana bread in a crock pot, but it works very well. I am going to do some experimenting because they say to grease and flour the pan, and I found that flouring it had a hard time getting the flour off. But then you have these nice little, however you choose to cut it, pieces of banana bread, and so it's a good way to use up some of those extra bananas and things like that. So you might want to try that, and it makes one loaf. It also is very freezable, so you can make it up and put it somewhere else and put it in the freezer or something and have it later on. Now in this pot I have sunshine squash. And this is something that there's all kinds of vegetables in here. There is squash, obviously, peppers, green peppers, corn, some tomatoes, and you just have this really nice vegetable that is a good side dish or something. If you want a good bunch of vegetables with your meal, this is it. Next, I have... Oops, I have my things mixed up here. The next one that I have is Harvest Ham Supper. Very easy. It takes 6 carrots, 2 sweet potatoes, a boneless ham, and a cup of maple syrup. And you just put everything into the crock pot, and you let it cook for, 6 or 8 hours. You've got your whole meal there. Gather some carrots out of the bottom. You put the vegetables in the bottom and then put the meat on top of it. Now, I don't peel my carrots, and you can tell that I don't because peeled carrots or unpeeled carrots in a crock pot kind of just shrivel, but they're still good. I've tried them. I know they're still good. So you can use that for your whole meal. Now, I also have a chicken Parisienne. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but anyway, it is from Alice Munson from Weybridge, and these are chicken breasts that, again, are put in the crock pot, and I'm going to just quickly cut one of these open, and then they have a sauce that's made with mushroom soup and whole, sliced mushrooms. A really nice way to serve that. And again, it only takes about 6 to 8 hours. And last but not least, I have a gingerbread. And boy, didn't the house smell good while I was cooking that. But you cook it up in your crock pot, and then that way you can serve it warm. Now, something that my husband and I really like on most anything, but on the gingerbread, is maple syrup, and there you've got your dessert. So take your picks, and
I could take them all.
you could take them all. Yep, take
you
some
very-
home with you when we're done.
Thank you, Karen. Very good job. Appreciate it. So I love cooking with slow cookers and crock pots, and I'm going to begin with my pulled barbecued chicken sandwich. Now, along with the chicken and barbecue sauce, you'll find in here that there's some brown sugar, Worcestershire sauce, and a little cornstarch. Now, you put it in the slow cooker until the chicken gets done, and then you take some forks, chop up the chicken, and put it on the hamburger buns like you see here. This is very, very good. And I hope you'll give it a try. We're all looking forward to sampling it here as soon as the show is over. And we wish you viewers were here to sample this along with us. And I'm going to use some of Deb's Cranberry Salsa to garnish it, along with a little salad and Fritos. And isn't that a wonderful meal? Now, Deb made her chicken noodle soup, and I have another soup that's a nice contrast. It's this savory chicken stew, and here you see it. Now, it uses cream of chicken soup as the base, along with some chicken, potatoes, carrots, mushroom, and onions. And the recipe serves two, because we know a lot of you viewers like cooking for one or two, but it could easily be doubled. And it has just 250 calories per serving, so how can you beat that? Now we have one more main dish before I get into my sweet treats. And here it is. It's my beef and scallop potato casserole. And just take a look at this. Into the slow cooker goes your ground beef, onion, cream cheese, and 2 boxes of scallop potato mix that you get right at the grocery store. Cook on low for about 2 hours, top with shredded cheddar, chopped bacon, sliced green onions, and we're going to garnish this with a scoop of sour cream. And this is a wonderful slow cooker meal that your family will enjoy. And there's plenty here if you want to invite some friends over. Now we're going to move on to those sweet treats. And did you know that you could make monkey bread in the slow cooker? Well, you can, and here it is. It has just 5 ingredients, and that's because that you use 2 tubes of the refrigerated cinnamon rolls that you get in the refrigerator, and you add a little sugar, a little melted butter, cinnamon, and I like to throw in some chopped walnuts to give it a little crunch. So you put it in the slow cooker or crock pot for 2 hours on high, and it'll get nice and brown like you see here. And it makes quite a bit, so you could share some with your neighbors or your friends, and they would really appreciate it. Cinnamon roll, monkey bread, very, very good. Now we're going to move on to desserts, and this is my black and blue cobbler. Now it's made in 2 steps. First, into the slow cooker goes some blackberries and blueberries along with sugar, water, and tapioca, and you cook it for about an hour on high. Then you add the topping, which is a cobbler mix made with flour, cornmeal, milk, butter, and lemon zest, a wonderful lemon flavor. Cook 45 minutes, serve 6, keeps well in the refrigerator if you have leftovers. And finally, did you know you could make creme brulee in the slow cooker? Well, you can, and it tastes like you're sitting in a cafe on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. And Marco Ayala, our guest chef, is here to torch this, and I'll tell you how it's made while he's doing that. So you put 4 ingredients into your slow cooker. That's eggs, egg yolks, whipping cream, sugar, and vanilla. Cook on low for 2 hours, and then take it out and set it in the fridge for about 6 to 8 hours. And when you're ready to prepare or to serve, sprinkle it with sugar. You can put it under your broiler in the oven, or use a kitchen torch like Marco is doing, and you can see us making that glaze a rich golden brown. And Judy, while he's doing that, you can tell our viewers how to get all these delicious recipes. And I wouldn't use that torch or I'd set your script afire.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to stand back a little bit. I'll keep my distance. But as soon as that's ready, I definitely want to try it. Well, we have some super recipes today, and there are a couple of different ways you can get them. You go online to the Across the Fence website, go to uvm.edu/extension, and click on the link to Across the Fence. You'll find the recipes in the left-hand side of the web page. Now, to get the recipes by mail, Send $2 and a stamped self-addressed business size envelope to Slow Cooker Recipes, Box 188, South Hero, Vermont 05486. Please remember, if you're ordering the recipes, to include $2 and a stamped self-addressed envelope. That address again is Slow Cooker Recipes, Box 188 in South Hero, and the zip code is 05486. Let's see how we're doing with this. Oh, that looks beautiful.
Oh, yeah. This is a really gourmet dessert right in one of those slow cookers.
I know. Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Well, my pleasure.
That's our program for today. We'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.